Bingo board, here it is for today. Remember, if and when you get bingo, 5 across any direction, shout out to Grace or Christina, and you get to either ask my mom any question you want about me, or you can have any of my co-hosts choose any area, any random hall in the American Museum of Natural History, and I'll tell you a fun story or anecdote or personal thing from that particular spot, because I miss that museum very much and know way too much about it. This is our bingo card. Take a screenshot now, should you need to. I really got to get more space, don't I? All right, here we go. Per usual, every single day, Christina, what do we start with?
Dino or not a dino?
Dino or not? Is it a dino or not a dino? Dino or not a dino? But before we do that, we have to introduce our very special guest for the day.
Oh, of course.
Right? Obviously. Moiya McTier.
Hello.
Hi, Moiya. So I know Moiya through some different science communication stuff in New York City. We did an amazing Versus together. She's currently pursuing her PhD at Columbia in astrophysics, which I'm pretty excited about. She also is a folklorist and a planet builder, and we'll talk about what that means in a little bit. But before we really get into it, I'm just curious, Moiya, do you have a favorite dinosaur?
I like the one with the long neck. Is that a Brontosaurus?
That is one of the ones with a long neck. Yes, go with that. Cool. Okay, no, Brontosaurus for sure. Sauropod. Brontosaurus is a crowd favorite. You can't go wrong with Big Bronto. Nice. Yeah. So, Moiya, are you familiar with our game, Dino or Not a Dino?
I think the name is pretty self-explanatory.
It is. I'm going to say the name of 10 different animals, some of which are dinosaurs, some of which we've made up, or are just absolutely not dinosaurs whatsoever. Your job is to simply say dinosaur or not a dinosaur.
Okay, I'm so excited to make an absolute fool of myself here.
So, well, quick question. Is it like pass-fail in Columbia in the PhD program, or do you actually get grades?
We get grades. Okay,
because we have a very low bar here for Dino or Not a Dino. All you have to do is get more than 5 of the 10. So you got to get 60%.
Okay.
It's like a D- is winning here at Dino 101.
Okay, what do I get if I win?
What if you, normally if you win, you get to choose who plays tomorrow, but for you, I'm not sure. We'll have to think about your prize.
Glory, I just get glory.
You get, well, yes, glory forever and ever. Oh, I love that our participant number is bumping up higher and higher every time I look. All right, here we go, Moiya. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Got my pad here to keep score. Many of these come straight from the mouth of one Christina Gustovich, comedic legend, my co-host. Here we go. Number 1, Falcarius. I should mention, if you want me to spell any of them, I'm happy to do that. Number 1 is Falcarius.
Saying not a dino.
Not a dino. I'm sorry, Falcarius is a dino. Falcarius is a dino. It's actually a type of Therizinosaurus, which, you know what, we should do a quick pause because I forgot to introduce the dino of the day. So we're going to pause for a hot second so we can all start our drawings. You guys, today we're talking about Therizinosaurs, and today's dino of the day is the one, the only, Therizinosaurus. There is no saurus like Therizinosaurus. One of the I'm not going to tell you any details yet because they're bonkers. This is one iteration of what it may have looked like. Notice the feathers. Notice the 3-foot-long claws. This is in a slightly different color. This one is, I love the coloration, the shape here. They made this one a little bit, slightly bigger than it actually was, but they're still really, really big. Largest claws of any animal that's ever existed, 3-foot-long talons. That is your dino of the day, Therizinosaurus. I'm excited to see these drawings at the end of our time. All right, quick sidebar to the drawings. Moiya, we're back. Number 2, dino or not a dino, Enigmosaurus. Enigmosaurus. Or remember, if you need to phone a friend, you can simply look at the boxes. People will do a lot of thumbs up or thumbs down.
Oh, okay.
They also will send yes or no. They can send them directly to you.
All right, I'm going to say no. I'm going to go with the crowd.
You're going to go with no for the crowd. Well, you know what? Yeah. Sometimes the crowds are wrong because Enigmosaurus is a dinosaur. It's a Therizinosaurus. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. You're 0 for 2. There's plenty of time to catch up. Right. Next one.
Okay.
Pedodon. Pedodon.
Yes.
I'm sorry, no. Pedodon is a combination of don and peta. So no, Pedodon is not a dinosaur. It's okay. You are 0 for 3. No.
Honestly, I'm not surprised about this at all.
Okay. It's okay. 0 for 3.
I
Next
believe in
one.
you, Moiya. I'm just gonna hide my face though.
Yeah.
I already know the answers, and so I believe in you.
Okay, just to recap, Falcarius is a dinosaur. Enigmosaurus is a dinosaur. Petodon is not a dinosaur. Number 4, Falafel-mimus.
No.
No. Falafel-mimus is not a dinosaur. That is often associated with Petodon, but it's not a dinosaur. You're right. Got one right. Yay. All right. Number 5, Erlikosaurus. Erlikosaurus.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, you got that one. Erlikosaurus is a dinosaur. It is another type of Therizinosaur named for a guy named Ehrlich who found it. So you are now 2 right, 3 wrong. There's still time. All right. Next.
It's going to be a comeback.
Okay, next one. If you need me to spell this, just let me know. Make sure I pronounce this correctly. Longonodon.
Could you spell that, please, Dustin?
Sure, absolutely. Longhn, Adon. Some people spell it Longjon without the H. Like sometimes, so Longonodon.
Okay. I'm gonna say no. That's not a dinosaur.
Also not a dinosaur. Storming back, you're now 3 for 3. Longonodon is not a dinosaur. All right, here we go. Number 7, I believe. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 7. I can never pronounce this rightly. Nothronicus.
Yes.
Well, Natty knows. Yep, Nothronicus, another type of Therizinosaur. You are now 4 for 3. Wow, 4 in a row.
Catching up.
What? Yeah, right? Back above 50%. She's crushing it. All right, next one. This one might be a toughie for you. Beipiaosaurus.
Grace looks so emphatic. I'm gonna say no. No.
I have someone on Insta saying absolutely yes because it sucks. You're saying no?
Saying it's not a dino.
No. Beipiaosaurus is not a dinosaur. That is straight from Christina's brain. You are right now 5 and 3.
Who said that sucks? I just want to talk.
Listen, you want to talk about Mario Batali later? We can do that, but this is not the time. Not right now. So, okay. Number 8.
Okay.
Segnosaurus.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
How confident are you feeling in your answer?
83%.
83%, good enough for me. Segnosaurus is a dinosaur. Congratulations, you hit 6. So we know you're gonna win. Just to really bring this, land this plane? Yeah, let's land this plane. Last but not least, wow, a lot of letters. Okay. Badonkadontis. Badonkadontis? Is Badonkadontis a dinosaur?
No.
No. We're getting some no's. A few people said no.
No.
Well, not to be confused with Badonkadonkapus. It's a different genera. They're closely related.
Same root, but different taxa.
My final answer is that's not a dinosaur.
Not a dinosaur. You are correct. I wish that was a dinosaur. Maybe it was. Moiya McTier, you got 7 out of 10 after a horrible start. Way to come back. Nice. You've won the right to answer some wild questions later on, as well as hang out with us. You guys have any point, you have any questions about astrophysics, shoot Moiya a question. We're going to talk more about planet building and what the heck that means in a little bit. So hang out, learn about dinos. Let's do this. All right. That was a great round. Christina, thank you. You guys, all of those fake dino names come straight from Christina's brain. So seriously, that's all we do now is make phone calls where we write bad dinosaur names. Okay. Let's get into it. What a dinosaur. All right, so the group of dinosaurs we're talking about today are Therizinosaurs. So Therizinosaurus is one, probably the most iconic member of the Therizinosaur family. Hard to pronounce, hard to spell, harder to imagine or actually real even. So I'm going to share my screen here again so we can see some examples of Therizinosaurs again. Now, these guys are theropods. So much like the three-toed, primarily carnivorous dinosaurs like T-Rex, Velociraptor, they're also a member of that group, theropods, but they were not carnivorous. So no Therizinosaurs, as far as we know, were carnivores, which makes the fact that they're known as reap lizards even more ridiculous. So reap is referring to those giant talons, those giant claws. We think they use them to kind of like reap and maybe like acquire plant materials, sweep off leaves from trees, that type of thing. We're not exactly sure, but based on those and based on their teeth, which are basically like little pegs, we know they were probably not exclusively carnivorous. Maybe they were omnivores sometimes, but primarily herbivores. All different colors, shapes, and sizes. Again, the colors are speculative. The feathers are not. We'll come back to that in a second. The other cool thing that gives us an indication of herbivory is their forearms with those giant claws had much more mobility and range of motion than other theropods like Velociraptor, like T-Rex. So they're using them in more different ways, which probably indicate they were using them to acquire different types of food. Now, you can kind of think of them as akin to maybe sloths or giant pandas in that way, using big claws, even though they were herbivores. Now, there are a number of different Therizinosaurs, but they've all been found, at this point at least, in Central Asia. So we're talking about Mongolia, we're talking about China, those areas. So we're going to highlight 3 today. Again, interrupt me with any questions or comments about quite possibly the craziest looking group of dinosaurs ever. So I think we would start with one we mentioned earlier, our friend Enigmosaurus. So first of all, not giant, at least this one's not giant. Therizinosaur is a lot bigger. Enigmosaurus is one of the smaller Therizinosaurs. Again, they're not tiny, but they're not huge like a T-Rex. And this one is called Enigmosaurus because we don't know a ton about it. We only have a few small bones and then most of its pelvis, as you see in this image. But mostly I wanted to show you this because, well, just this image, every time I see it, I can't stop laughing. It's like it's got a hot dog finger neck situation going on.
He doesn't look happy about it either.
That's the other weird thing about these. It's much longer necks. If you think about like a T-Rex or Velociraptor, other theropods, they have shorter necks. These guys have almost like sauropod-like long necks, real thick torsos. So that's Enigmosaurus. It lived about 90 million years ago. I had to show you that if we're going to talk about these guys. But the next one, and one that is really interesting, and you'll see why in a moment, is called, oh wait, before we move on to that, I forgot. Grace, are you there? You ready? Grace, I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to Grace. Get your bingo cards ready because Grace sent me this in the mail. Ba-ba-da-ba! It's Sue!
Whoa!
Look at this. I have a new shirt and I don't have to wear the same one every single day. This is it. This is my Sue the T-Rex t-shirt, which is, again, a bingo square. Check that off. This is a great shirt. Thank you, Grace. All right. Back to Therizinosaurs. Next, we have our friend. Here it is. This one's hard to say. It's spelled, actually, I'm going to ask you, if anyone knows how to pronounce this, I'm going to give it a shot. It's Beipiaosaurus. Beipiaosaurus, which is Beipiaosaurus, somewhere in there. Sure.
Yeah, Saurus.
Listen, even dinosaur experts don't know how to spell half or pronounce half of these things. And then once we do, there's debates like Deinonychus versus Deinonychus. Anyway, say it how you want. Beipiaosaurus. This one's a lot older, 125 million years ago, right? So Therizinosaurs lived from about the middle of the Jurassic until the end of the Cretaceous. This is one of the earlier Therizinosaurs. Beipiaosaurus. Now, when this thing was alive, the temperature on Earth, the average temperature was about 50 degrees, at least in the area it was living. So obviously it had some cold seasons, it had some warmer seasons. I'd bring this up because this is one of the largest dinosaurs we know that we have, that we know had feathers from direct evidence. So like we infer, we've talked about this before, we can infer that Sue and other tyrannosaurs, large ones, probably had some feathers because Nanotyrannus, Velociraptor, smaller cousins and very closely related theropods had feathers. It's a decent implication that they had feathers as well. But when it comes to this one, our friend right here, Beipiaosaurus, there's direct evidence of feathers. We have fossils that have beautiful feather impressions all around the bones, which is pretty impressive for something that was about 7 to 10 feet long. So a very large feathered dino. And not just that, it had 2 types of feathers. So from this fossil, we see evidence of downy tufts, small downy tufts, and then from those downy tufts erupt these longer, simpler feathers. I don't know why, but I love this image. It looks like it's a giant anteater almost, but you get the idea of the different types of feathers, head to toe on these guys. I also want to show you this image just because I love the feathers put on the bottom one. It looks very much like a real like bird of prey or raptor. But then if you look at the top one, I'll ask Moiya, does this not look like some alien incarnation from a weird world somewhere?
Oh, it definitely does.
Right? And the little ear flap things are speculative, but still, like it just looks like someone designed this for an alien planet.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, we'll come back to in a little bit. So this again is Beipiaosaurus. Very cool because it's evidence of downy tufts and the longer, simpler feathers, and it had evidence of a pygostyle. We've talked about pygostyles before. It's Pygo style. In modern birds, it's a fusion of the last few vertebrae on the tail, and it's a spot where tail and display feathers attach to bone. So for instance, a great example is a peacock. Peacock has a pygostyle, attaches all those display feathers. So we know these guys had a rudimentary pygostyle. So there's a distinct possibility that at the end of their tails, they had some sort of display feathers. And that brings us to our dino of the day, the piece de resistance. Here it is, our friend, the Therizinosaur. Okay, so first and foremost, here's a good size depiction, right? This is about the right size of a Therizinosaur versus next to a person. They probably did not have this wild coloration. This is totally guesswork and speculative. But sure, we know they had feathers, so I love that they feathered out the tail, tried different colors, and maybe it did have different colors. Think about birds alive today. Some are one color, some are lots of different colors, so maybe Therizinosaur had multiple colors like this. Maybe it was more just white, like this one, walking through the snow. Maybe this guy, a lot less featheration, and just basically the claws are the main feature that you see. That one's brown. This guy, I don't know who designed this one. Or like this one, someone did my man's wrong here. Like this guy, he needs a little bit of work. I don't know. He looks a little worse for the wear. But that's okay. So we're not exactly sure what these guys look like. Oh, so let's go back to my favorite. This is probably my favorite interpretation of a Therizinosaur. I don't know why he's like emerging from a Habib, which is like a desert cloud of dust. But hey, it makes it even more dramatic. I love this interpretation, and it really shows off the claws, and that's what we're here to talk about. Boom, there they are. This is it, guys. You're looking at the largest pair of claws any animal has ever had in the history of life on Earth. Over 3 foot long, that middle talon, it's about a meter, a little bit over 3 feet long. That's why they're known as reaper or scythe lizards. It looks like a scythe, S-Y-C-T-H-E, which is a tool used to like reap and sow grasses and grains, and it looks a lot like this tool. And so we think they may have been using them in a similar fashion because there's no indication they were carnivores, maybe omnivores, but probably herbivores, using this to gather whatever types of plant matter they were using or they were employing and eating. But again, like 3 foot long talons. And so I wanted to come back to Moiya for a second, just because we've seen a bunch of these different iterations of Therizinosaurs with crazy mix of features we generally don't see in dinosaurs. So Moiya, first and foremost, before we really get into putting that on a planet, when I say, and you say planet building, like what does that mean? Like what are we even talking about? What do you do with that?
Yeah, so for me, planet building or world building means taking the physical characteristics of a planet or world and using those to imagine what the life there would look like. And this brings in a lot of different scientific disciplines. It means evolutionary biology, it means psychology, it means botany, like knowing what plants are like there. And then with psychology, you can figure out, like once you build a life form, you can figure out what their cultures would be like, which is my favorite part of it, because I studied folklore in college. But yeah, fictional world building to me is like designing another world that I can use my imagination to live in.
I love that. So keeping that in mind, can we just, we'll take a stab at reverse engineering a world that you might see a Therizinosaur in? Because like when I first saw these, I was like, wait, is that an animal that someone made up for a sci-fi novel, or is that a real dinosaur? So if you just saw one of these images and you did not know it was a real dinosaur, can you tell me a little bit about the type of planet that you might think it comes from?
Yeah, I've never done it in this direction before. I usually start with the planet. I'm really excited for this. All right, so I'm going to start with its size, the Therizinosaurus's size.
Good pronunciation.
Thank you. It's big, right? It's
Like a T-Rex, basically.
yeah, it's huge, which means it probably has a pretty plentiful food source because you can't get that big if you aren't eating a lot. And the fact that it's an herbivore means that it must spend so much of its time eating. I mean, horses graze for 17 hours a day, and this thing is like 5 times as big as a horse, right?
Yeah.
At least. So it must spend so much of its time eating, which means there have to be a lot of plants around. And to me, that indicates that there might be a very high level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Because that helps plants grow. But it also implies that plants are always available, which means they're like how we have seasons where sometimes plants aren't available because it's winter. I imagine that isn't the case in this environment. So maybe that means that the planet's tilt isn't as extreme as ours. So our seasons happen because Earth has a 23-degree tilt. So it's not pointing straight up. It's like spinning at an angle. Maybe this planet isn't spinning at an extreme angle like we are. Those claws are really interesting.
A picture of them real fast. Keep going.
Yeah. So the claws, like you said, are probably to like get plants, to gather plants, and also maybe to get plants out of the way if it's moving through the forest. But maybe they're also defensive, which means there are other creatures there who are big and eat meat. So that implies biodiversity in the region, which means maybe it's like a tropical, almost like Amazon rainforest type environment, because those are the most biodiverse places here on Earth. And those feathers, so feathers serve different purposes depending on what type of feather it is. But I guess in general, this thing definitely didn't fly. So the feathers were probably to protect it from rain and other environmental factors, but also to like show off to people, either to attract mates or to give like a don't mess with me, I can protect myself type of demonstration. So that means that they're very visual creatures, which means there's sunlight so they can see. And that means there aren't these like thick clouds in the atmosphere blocking a lot of the sunlight coming in. So my conclusion about this planet is that it probably has a very stable Amazon rainforest-like climate. It probably has high levels of carbon dioxide in its atmosphere, and maybe it has a smaller planetary tilt. But the interesting thing about these long claws and the tail feathers, which may have also been used to balance the Therizinosaurus, means that it might not have had an easy time walking very quickly or very far. So I imagine they were probably very local to like one spot on this planet.
You're probably not migrating. Well, I guess if there aren't seasons, migrating isn't as necessary anyway.
Well, yeah, so what I'm saying is like maybe this type of environment, this local or this rainforest-like environment was very local to where they are, and it's possible that the rest of the planet looked totally different. Which, because there are so many Therizinosaurs, they maybe like popped up in different parts of the world and adapted to their climates. So that's my world building for now.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Another question. I'm sure the chat box is gonna go crazy with questions for you because I already have a bunch. But one, are you like a Star Wars fan / nerd at all?
I have never seen Star Wars, but I do like Star Trek.
Okay, I'll ask. The reason I bring this up is I've mentioned this before. My brother's a huge Star Wars nerd, so I don't watch a ton, but he watches all the time. So I catch a lot of different weird animals from different weird planets in the Star Wars franchise. And that's my favorite part, to think about the imagined speculatively evolved animals on these imagined speculatively evolved planets, how they reconcile the conditions and the animals and the features. Basically what you just did. Like, you just designed a planet and an animal for the next iteration of Star Wars. We should hit them up.
We should. Yeah.
So I'm going to pause there for a second. Christina, do we have any comments or questions from the chat, or just high praise for Moiya for crushing Dino or not a Dino?
I don't have any yet. I do have from a while ago. Richard says Beipiaosaurus.
Beipiasaurus. Oh, like BAE, Beipiasaurus.
Like BAE.
Like when your boo needs to go to the bathroom. Beipiasaurus. Okay. That's how you remember stuff.
I've got some. Jenna wants to say, you're amazing. That was cool. I've got some questions, comments from Instagram. Someone says, I heard that a lot of large herbivores tend to evolve in regions with plants that are nutrient poor. So they develop larger digestive tracts in order to take out most nutrients.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Do we have, this is where my lack of knowledge of dinosaurs is coming in. Do we have any idea like how many stomachs it might have had?
So most people believe that at least large, like the sauropods, like Brontosaurus, like you talked about, had chambered stomachs similar to ruminants today. So they have different types of bacteria helping digest those literally thousands of pounds of plant matter. The not nutrient dense part, I'm not sure about. I've not heard that.
And Dustin, not sure if you said this already, but what time period are we looking at right now for these?
For the Therizinosaurs, so the Therizinosaurs were mid-Jurassic until the end of the Cretaceous. So I think around like 150 mil to about 66 million years ago. So towards the end of the time of the dinosaurs. Now that I know how to pronounce it, Beipiaosaurus, way earlier, like 125 mil, whereas the Therizinosaurus is only about 70 million years ago.
I have a question from Sissy.
Yeah.
Who said, that was so cool. Where can we get more information about this kind of thing, this kind of thinking? Are there any reading materials for learning more about world building?
Hey there, Moiya.
That's a great question. Yeah, so I learned about world building on my own by like reading a lot of fantasy and sci-fi books and watching shows. But I also host a show that is about fictional world building where I interview guests from other scientific disciplines and together we imagine a different alien planet in each show. And so I used to do it live and now I'm starting to put them online. So I will be posting my first one on YouTube actually later today. So you'll be able to watch it over the weekend. And I am also going to put on online a lesson on how to build worlds if you want to start doing it yourself. So
I think we all do.
Yeah.
I know as you guys are starting to put the finishing touches on your Therizinosaur drawings, I know I usually ask you to name the individual, you know, like Bob or Sue, the Therizinosaur. If you want to do that, cool. But I definitely today want you to tell me, if we were to find this on a planet not Earth, what would be the name of the planet your Therizinosaur lives on? So I need you to name your Therizinosaur's planet.
Rob wants to know, did Troodon actually have poisonous bites?
Troodon. I've never heard of it.
Troodon.
I've never heard anything about them having poisonous bites. The thing I know about Troodon is that they are amongst, if not the smartest, most intelligent dinosaur we know, based on cranial capacity, size of the brain case compared to the body size. And if Therizinosaur didn't freak you out enough, look up Troodon speculative evolution, like TROODON, because people have done mock-ups of if this thing evolved. It's so egocentric, but they've made it evolve into looking basically like an alien human type of thing. Look up Troodon, TROODON, like human evolution. It's just crazy. It's weird and scary. But I have not heard about the poison bite situation. I'll look into that.
I have a question from Shanna. How do Therizinosaurs compare in size to T-Rex? I joined late, so I might have missed this part in the intro.
Hey, all good. We all have stuff to do. I'm going to give you a size right here, similar to a T-Rex. Not so dissimilar to T-Rex. Here's another one I saw walking down the streets of New York a couple years ago during a snowstorm. So yeah, not so dissimilar to a T-Rex. At least not for Therizinosaurus. We also mentioned a couple others like Enigmosaurus, which is much smaller. But yeah, the biggest Therizinosaurs, comparable to a T-Rex.
Awesome.
I have a quick question kind of going off of that. If we only know so little about the Enigmosaur, how do we know that that wasn't just a juvenile and it was just smaller?
Great question. I'm not exactly sure. My guess would be that it's hip. So because we have almost an entire pelvis and hip bone, you use that to compare to other animals you know, and it is very similar size and shape to other Therizinosaurs. But again, I'm not an expert on Therizinosaur pelvic morphology, so I wouldn't be able to tell you like how the exact shape and size differences correlate between different species or juveniles and adults, but I would imagine we have enough different ones to be like, oh, this is different enough in shape or size than these other ones we've already named to be able to be like, yeah, this is its own new species, but we just don't know a ton about it yet. That'd be my guess.
And does anything eat it?
Probably. I mean, especially the smaller ones have probably gotten fights here and there. We talked about fighting dinosaurs yesterday, or at least when it died, a lot of things probably ate it. Or maybe not. Maybe it was so well protected with those claws that things were like, I'm just not going to mess with it. Hard to know. Like we don't have, like we talked yesterday about evidence of fights between different dinosaurs, like the fossil where the Velociraptor and the Protoceratops were locked in combat, or T-Rex teeth bite and puncture marks in the frill of a Triceratops. That's again direct evidence, but we have no direct evidence of fighting or biting or eating in Therizinosaurus, at least not at this point.
Michael wanted to share that scientists think Therizinosaurus had a poisonous bite because of the grooves in its teeth, similar to the Gila Monster.
The Gila Monster. Michael, do you remember Gila Monsters Meet You at the Airport? It's a book my mom used to read to me. My mom probably remembers that. Speaking of my mom, if anyone has gotten close to a bingo, please alert one of our co-hosts so you can complete the mom challenge.
I don't know. We made it pretty hard today because our normal free center space is out of play. Sorry, guys.
It's true. That is true.
We're gonna have to update that.
Maybe it should just say Dustin wears a dino-related T-shirt.
There you go.
Oh wait. What if I just show the shirt real quick? Does that count?
Okay, here you go, guys. All right, you can get your free space.
Okay.
And this is a wardrobe change. We have that, and we see the T-shirt. So there you go, guys.
That's it. We did it. So you can use your free bingo space in the middle now. Remember, if you get bingo, shout it out to one of the co-hosts, and then you get to ask my mom any question you want about me, or ask your co-host to pick a random area in the American Museum of Natural History, which is also Bingo Square, and I will tell you a fun story, personal anecdote. All right. How we doing, guys? We good? We got questions? Any more comments?
We got an evolution question.
Those are my favorite.
Did the Therizinosaurus evolve into ducks?
No, this is not the line, at least not the lineage of animals that evolved into modern birds. Some of the smaller theropods did that. Definitely not these guys. But they are related. They are theropods. I'm really, really excited to see the drawings today. I think we'll get those going in a hot second.
One hot second.
Christina, you got anything else before I move on to the drawings?
No questions, but I got into the chat. The Moiya show is called Exolore, and I put up a link to her YouTube channel, so check that out.
Awesome. Yeah, if you could put Moiya's contact, like her Twitter on there as well, that's probably helpful. Cool.
We've got someone on Instagram asking if you could tell the sex of these dinosaurs from their pelvic bones or anything else.
These particular or dinosaurs in general?
Well, she said she didn't qualify, so let's focus on today's topic.
So it's very hard to sex a dinosaur. Hey, it is. It's really hard to tell how old. What, Christina, put your face away.
I'm sorry, you just made a sound.
Yeah.
No, it's really hard to tell the sex of a dinosaur from fossils. If you have lots and lots of specimens of the same species, then you can start to see size variation. We talk a lot about sexual dimorphism, which means a different size or shape between the males and the females. You can start to see that when you have lots and lots of specimens of an individual species, but usually that's not the case. So you have to try to find other indications, and I bring this up because we know some T-Rexes now, we can tell at least for one specimen that it was female, and because the way we did that, I'm not even going to get into because we're going to whole day on dinosaur sexing and figuring out if it was a male or a female. But we're starting to figure out ways to determine if some dinos were males or females. It's very hard though.
Awesome. Hey, Julian, do you want to ask a question? I unmuted you.
Yes.
Hit me.
Can we start, wait, never mind. In this book, it says that the claws could have been 27 inches or 70 centimeters long.
27 inches. Let's see. That is
70 centimeters and 70 centimeters.
I'm
Or
American.
70 centimeters.
Centimeters. Yeah, so that says it could be over 2 feet. That's saying for Therizinosaurus.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that one's, I guess it's saying it's a little more than 2 feet long. Some places, I think the longest one we've ever seen. So yeah, the average size is between 2 and 3 feet long, which you're right is big. That's like a meter long claws. Largest claws of any animal we've ever known, and it's an herbivore. Who would have thought? Now, as we start going through to see some of your amazing, first of all, thank you for that question. As we see some of your amazing drawings, also, oh, that's a good book. If you guys have dinosaur toys at home that you're not exactly sure the species of and you want us to help identify it, this is also a good time to hold that up to the camera as we go through and look at some of these. So I'm just gonna start scrolling through because every day your paleo art is incredibly impressive. Em, finish it up. I know you're working on it. Jada, this goes for you too. Mom, I'm sorry that no one has gotten bingo today. Your presence is always appreciated though. All right, let's look at some of these images. Em's got her Therizinosaurus featuring a glam manicure. Yeah, if they've got nails like that, and I like it's got its like sun hat. It's good. It's good. Into it. Oh, Megan, wow.
I'm too long on the claws, so I didn't finish it.
No, that's good. The claw's the most
But I
important.
gave him a feather mullet.
Listen, everyone's here for a feather mullet. Who doesn't love a feather mullet? Who else we got? Julian, I see Julian's got a really pretty one. Ooh, I like the real long neck there. Rob's holding up a dinosaur. Rob, are you holding it up because you want us to identify what it is because you're not sure? Is that why?
Yeah, I don't know what this is. I've had this since I was like 3, and I don't know.
I had one like that at home too. That's really tough because it doesn't look very, looks like a combination of features. Like the teeth look very carnivore-like. The bumps, those osteoderms look more like, one of the ankylosaurs like Edmontonia or Sauropelta. Does it say anything on the belly?
It says made in China, so it's a Chinese dinosaur, so that's all I know.
That's about as far as we're going to get today, my friend. That is a Chinosaurus. I'm sorry. I guess, again, crushing it with the Post-it note drawings. I like this one. Like he's also emerging from the dust cloud. That looks good. Into it. Dash and Vasti. Let's see. That's real good. That's real good. Into it. T. What you got? Beautiful. You guys are working on multiple ones. Oh, that guy looks real friendly. I'd hang out with him. Into it.
I'm making this face because Sissy just shared with me that they looked up Troodon speculative evolution. And I'm sorry, Sissy, is it okay if I put this picture up for everybody? Okay, keep going to these other pictures first. Okay. It's beautiful.
Margot, again, welcome to Big Boy Land. Is that the name of the planet? Big Boy Land? Okay, it's a good name of planet. I'm into it. Ooh, you might have some copyright infringement though with Outcast. If you remember Outcast, never mind. It's a deep cut. Okay, Bryn, ooh, this is Jaden from the planet Zori. Into it. I like the red on the back, but also on the forearm, little display feathers, great claws. Like that mouth. That's good. Here it is. All right, Christina, there it is. You found it. This is what I mean about weird speculative dino evolution. I feel like they just looked at Area 51 pictures and they were like, what can we do here?
Wowie zowie.
Wowie zowie is right. Hey, Christina, you know what? You and me, that's our Halloween outfit. Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
Who do you want to be?
Which one do you want to be?
I'll be either. I'll be the dinosaur.
Great.
Okay.
I'll get my skin suit.
Okay. We also need to get you like a bulbous head situation.
Certainly.
All right. Let's see some more of these drawings. Christina, can you unshare that?
Yeah, I'm trying. Just want to make sure everybody has nightmares. All right, there you go.
I think it's called Troodon Man. Oh, Kate, you're holding a dino there. Are you trying to ID that dino that looks a little bit like one of the ones from the new Jurassic Worlds? Maybe is that maybe Indoraptor? Hard to know. One's hard to say. Let's cycle through to some more of these drawings. Tony, this is Zinnia from planet Badonkadon. Yeah. Badonkadon. That is my next stop when they get to leave this planet and go explore. Ooh, a digital drawing from Denise here. Oh, I like the front end looking straight at you, bringing you a nice bowl of salad with maybe some tomatoes, a Vegisaurus. Vegisaurus from the planet Vegan. Into it. Lenosaurus. Ooh, nice. Oh, I like the sun behind it. The pinkish. You don't know. Maybe these guys are more flamingo-like. Could be a very accurate depiction. Just not sure at this point. What else we got? Bella and Emmett. Oh, I like those. Very simple. I like the simplistic black and white drawings. I like that you put a lot of details, maybe another dino friend or competitor with them. Those look great. Richard, that's pretty good. Getting his nails done. Yeah. Yeah, do you guys see this one? This is Therizinosaurus. What planet is this from? Planet heck to the na. We'll go heck to the na. Yeah, into it. Ryan and Stanley. Ooh, this one's got a lot of featheration on its arms. That one's pretty good. Therizinosaur, Sydney. You guys, these are so good. Catherine, all the way from Australia, coming with the black and white or the pencil drawing. What planet? Do we have a name of a planet on here? Snappy World? I can't, it's okay. It's a little blurry, but we're going Snappy World. Natty, loving, ooh, I like this one's a little thicker in the back. Ooh, maybe sometimes they lean down on all fours every once in a while. We're not really sure. Inez, wow.
Inez, always impressive.
Wanting us to share with the stripes and the spots and the Tiger style and the claws and the
feathers. And he looks like a Jackie. I like it.
Jackie, we do need to know the planet that you have built for this. So if you want to write a planet name on top of there, that would be great. Oh, Yasmin. Let's see what's Yasmin. Ooh, Edward. Edward. Exactly. This is like the Edward Scissorhands of dinosaurs. Thank you. I totally forgot about that. We were looking at planet Thirdopius. Planet Thirdopius and Edward Scissorhandosaurus into it. Cecilia Ceratops coming. Ooh, this one's displaying, maybe about to come down and grab you. I'm into that one. I like that a lot.
I need to share something that Michael just shared with me. So that nightmare image that I shared of the Troodon and weird alien person, he says was from a scientist at Ottawa's museum who speculated what dinos might look like if they had not gone extinct. So he thought that dinos would evolve into a human-like form. This person responsible for all of our nightmares is Dr. Dale Russell, former curator of the Canadian Museum of Nature in Ottawa.
I've been there. It's a cool museum. I don't agree with what he says at all, but that's okay.
Now we have a Halloween costume.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, this is Fred #2 and Bob for scale. Into that. Adela. Ooh, I like the purple. This is Zach, the Therizinosaur. That's a good one. Dino West. Again, Dino West. Happy birthday. You're wearing the right gear. We got our T-Rex. Yo, you got your whole life ahead of you, and you don't even have to worry about a recession like us, millennials. Okay. Oh, this one's pretty good. I like this one. Look at this. Very speculative. Who knows what planet this comes from? Proviniraptor. Got our friend here. Also color. How come it won't let me switch? That's okay. All right. We've got to about the end. You guys, let's do a quick recap. So today we've been talking about the Therizinosaurs. There is no saurus like Therizinosaurus. Therizinosaurus is the most iconic of the Therizinosaur family. Almost about the size of a T-Rex, covered in feathers, largest claws of any animal that has ever existed in the history of the world. It's one of the larger, if not the largest, Therizinosaur. We also talked about Beipiaosaurus as well as Enigmosaurus. The cool thing about Beipiaosaurus, it's one of the largest dinosaurs we have that we know has feathers from direct evidence. 7 to 10 feet long, covered in downy tufts, and simpler feathers coming out of that. Just the craziest group of dinosaurs. Such a weird set of features. So that's what we talked about today. Do we have any last thoughts, comments, questions, concerns from Grace or Christina or anyone before I announce our very special topic and guest for tomorrow?
Yeah, I would just like to share my art project that I was working on. So if you were with us the other day, you know Dustin has a side hustle where he's, is it on my screen?
Yeah. I just don't know where it's going. I'm excited. Go ahead.
Yeah, where he's a shadow model next to dinos. So I just made another observation of that today. I see you. Mm-hmm. I see you out there hustling, getting in shadow pictures with dinos again.
Oh, you noticed this is me on the left with the Therizinosaur?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all have side gigs to make money in this economy, and Wikipedia called. They're like, yo, you'd be great as just a shadowy figure standing near dinosaurs. And I was like, can I wear a big like hamburger helper mitt to make my hands look bigger? And they said,
Right.
sure. And so here we are.
Okay.
Is that it? Is that?
That's what I was working on. I just wanted to highlight your hard work.
I appreciate that. Speaking of hard work, if you want to throw us a couple bones to support this endeavor, I am Dustin-Growick on Venmo. That's Growick. I'm dgrowick@gmail through PayPal. We appreciate it. We're trying to think about new ways to, well, first of all, we're gonna get some prizes, start getting people prizes. We want to think about more games, get you guys involved, and just getting more people to come and hang out. So, Moiya, is Moiya here still?
Yep.
Moiya, thank you for joining. Can you plug your stuff one more time so people know where to find you and find more about
Yes.
planet building?
Yes, my name is Moiya McTier. You can find me on Twitter at GoAstroMo. And I am going to start posting my ExoLore discussion videos so you can get more world building into your life and learn more about how to world build starting this weekend.
I'm so excited about that. And that's actually a good reminder too, on Instagram and on Twitter, please share all these amazing Therizinosaurs you've made up from different planets. Tag me, tag Moiya. We'd love to see those. You guys,
they were great.
What?
They were so great. My jaw like didn't close the entire time people were showing their pictures.
Yeah, I'm always impressed by the art I see. Speaking of the art that impresses me every single day, excuse me, Ms. Jada Elcock, could you please, first of all, hold up your Therizinosaur? Can someone unmute her, please?
I got it.
Okay. So who is this?
His name is Theo, and he lives on Gazorpazorp.
Gazorpazorb? How do you spell that?
Gizorpixorp. Oh wait, maybe I spelled that wrong.
No, it's a very
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I spelled it right. It's a Rick and Morty reference.
Oh. Some of us don't know that. I've only watched
Well,
a few.
you should. If you are an adult, you should watch it.
Agreed.
There's something else a lot of people don't know, Jada, and that is what we were talking about tomorrow. Do you have any idea who the special guest might be tomorrow and what he or she may be talking about?
I have no idea.
None whatsoever? Just none whatsoever?
No idea.
Really? You're going to make me do this?
Yeah.
Fine. You guys, it's Jada. Jada, we mentioned yesterday she found out, or yesterday or 2 days ago, she found out that she got into graduate school to study sharks, which is awesome. So I was like, yo, we haven't talked about sharks. Sharks were on this planet before trees were on this planet. Let's have a shark nerd out day. So what we're going to do tomorrow is have Jada tell us about some of the coolest freaking sharks ever, some of the coolest adaptations in sharks. And then I'm probably going to try to make some sort of little segues here and there to talk about dinosaur teeth or things that are related to sharks with respect to dinosaurs, similar adaptations, similar functionality of teeth, that type of thing. So tomorrow is Shark Saturday. Obviously, there's always going to be a healthy serving of dinosaurs as well. But Jada's going to help us learn all about sharks tomorrow, as well as, well, their relation to, if there's any, with dinosaurs. So Jada, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you?
Like 45.
Like 45.
Yes.
Okay. That is 4.5 times more excited than mathematically possible.
Yes.
It's incredible. That seems like a great place to end this. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you're going to grad school to try to learn more about sharks or using 3-foot talons to scythe away plant matter to eat it. Never stop digging. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Shark Saturday. Let's go. Thank you once again to Moiya for joining us. You guys are great. This has been a ton of fun. If Therizinosaurs didn't get you loving dinosaurs, I don't know what will. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.